I look so damn good today. This episode better be fucking good.
Bad little flex, she wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your girl OD.
Hello guys, welcome to As Your Big Sister with your host, me, Asia, my queen. This is the third time I've recorded this episode. Third. 1, 2, 3. Uno, dos, days. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired. I feel like it's a good message, so that's why that's why can I preach to the people? No. You got a stuttering problem. No, you got anxiety. No, the camera dies. No, you were on mute the entire time. How are you guys doing? Good? Good. I'm doing good. Can you tell? I just gotta go off on myself sometimes. Sometimes y'all, I don't have much of a relationship with my parents. So I need somebody to get me together sometimes. So sometimes I got to put on the mom hat and cuss myself out. Nobody told me that this remothering yourself was going to have you irritated with you. I went to eat some hot Cheetos for breakfast this morning, but no. I had to be like, is this what's best for you? But I ate it anyways. Ooh, it was so good. It was at the end where it's like, okay, ooh, my mouth is watering. Oh my God, okay, I'm sorry. It was at the end where like there's like crumbs and it's like hard. It's like a little burnt. And there's a lot of the hot powder on it. But then I took a spoonful of sour cream and put it in the bag and was just like, oh my God, I'm so hard right now. I am so hard. Like I am bricked up under this desk. Okay, sorry. Oh my God. TMI. I posted this video on TikTok, guys, and I was like, your boy's going out tonight, look at what he's wearing, whatever. And the unks are upset. They're like, see, you got to check in between the legs nowadays. You got to, see, it's from Atlanta. See that? And I'm like, oh my goodness. Just angry, just upset. I'm like, okay, girl. All right. Because I be saying your boy, your girl, I call myself a brother sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, help a brother out. It's whatever. Ain't no thing. I call dudes girl. That just means that I'm having a good time with you and I'm passionate about what we're talking about. Or maybe I'm shocked, like, girl, no. Or maybe I got some tea to tell you, girl. Whatever. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys something. Okay, so when there's times where you need to cry, so you'll like find something that makes you cry. Maybe it's like a song or a movie. For me, it's What a Wonderful World. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. Or that part, okay, the part when he says, this part always breaks me down. Oh my God, okay, what he says, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow, they'll learn much more than I ever know. Oh my God, bro, stop. Because it is true. It's like was like, there's so much information that they didn't get access to. I remember singing that song in like the like 5th grade, and I was like, bro, this is sad, but it's such a happy song. I don't know. Okay. All right. Do you guys want to get into the episode? Do you guys want to get into the topic at hand? We're going to talk about failing out loud. I'm not going to lie. I'm an expert at this. I'm an expert at dirt. I am Einstein. I know how to do that, and I know how to do it well. I know how to make it seem like I ain't even phased, baby. No likes, no views, no hurt, no listeners, no dear, nobody is here. I'm just talking to myself. It was like that for a long time. It was like that for a long time. If you have listened to me since the beginning, since this podcast was called Always Asia, the Always Asia podcast. Yeah, it was the Always Asia podcast. If you've been listening since then, baby, oh my God. Thank you. It was just you and me. So I know a lot about failing out loud. I know what it feels like. I know how to maneuver. I know everything. Okay. I know how to get through it. I know I was going to say I know the secret key. What does that mean? I know how to do this, okay? If there's anything that I fucking know how to do, bitch, it's to motherfucking not make a basketball team, not make the talent show. I should have made the fucking talent show. We were like, okay, so it was like, can you keep up, baby boy? Wait, hold on, fuck. Okay, so it was like, what? Okay, it was one person went like this, the other person put their hand up, the other person put their hand up, and then we were like, ooh. And then, sorry, if you're watching on YouTube, you get a little preview of my 5th grade dance. So it was like, okay, put your hand up, put your hand up, put your hand up. It was me, my cousin, and my best friend, I think. And we went, ooh, and we went pop, pop, and then we like went down. I forgot exactly how it went, but it ate, right? We did not make the talent show that year. But this little boy, and this is no shade, because me and his sister, I love her to death. I love you, girl. But this little boy made the talent show, and he talking about some peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter. That's all he did, the whole thing. Peanut butter jelly. When it came to the day where we had to watch the talent show performances, and I'm sitting in the fucking crowd, and I'm watching this kid doing peanut butter jelly, and everyone's like, he is so cute, he is so cute. And I was looking over, I was like, fuck him. And peanut and jelly. I was devastated because you guys remember, like, they used to write the list of the people who made the team or the talent show or whatever, and they would put it in front of the PE door. So, and everyone knew that we were auditioning because during recess, we were practicing after school, before school, like everyone knew. And my name wasn't fucking on there. And it was just in front of everybody. Everybody knew that I did not make the talent. And the worst thing about not making a team or the talent show or anything like that is going home and having Black parents, bro. That is the fucking worst. I didn't make the basketball team. And I'm like, holy shit. How am I going to tell my dad I did not fucking make this team? So I go to the fucking, I go to the coach and I'm like, listen, how did this happen? And he's like, you know, we scored on this and you scored here. We scored on that. You scored here. I mean, you can, maybe be a manager. I'd rather tell my dad I didn't make the team. So why did my dad overhear me telling the story saying the coach said, oh, you could be the manager? My dad gonna break it talking about some, you ain't gonna be no motherfucking manager. I ain't gonna show it to them damn games and you're on the bench the whole motherfucking time. You're just not gonna be on the team. And I was like, yeah, no. The way my pride, no. But anyways, fail often. I fail all the time. So I want to share with you guys why it was so hard for me to fail out loud. I want to also share with you guys what made it easy and what still makes it easy for me to fail out loud, and why failing is important. Okay, so why failing out loud was hard for me. It's different for all of us. Let's keep that in mind. It's the reason why we don't want to be embarrassed. There's always a story. It's like, oh, in the 5th grade, my pants fell down. It was like, for me, there were voices in my head that I had to fight, baby. Because the voices were so negative, never on my motherfucking side. Like, guys, there'll be days that I be looking so fine, right? This day is included in one of those days. The skin is just, lip gloss just, So there were days where I would look so good and I had to find something that was off. Yeah, but like, yeah, but it just broke out. Just the voices in my head would not let me win, bro. And okay, I'm going to share a story with you guys. Please do not judge my mother. I shared it with my brother yesterday and he was like, oh my God, wow. So, maybe that's why. But, there were two polar opposite sides of how I was raised. I was called a lot of names, but I was also praised. And, when I was praised was when I did something good or when I was able to give something up. But when I wasn't, I was all type of bitches, or when they didn't feel confident within themselves or whatever. My mom was a young mother, so let's keep that in mind. Not making excuses, just adding that in. So I remember one time we're laying on the couch and my mom was like, you're so perfect. You're just so beautiful. Like, I think there's everything about you is just so perfect. You have beautiful lips, beautiful eyes, your nose is nicely shaped. Everything is just so perfect about you, except your hands. And I never had an insecurity about my hands. Like at that time, like before that time, I never had an insecurity about my hands at all. But now I have an insecurity about my hands. And when I meet people, that's the first thing I look at are people's hands. So it's like I grew these voices in my head that were not necessarily my own at first, but they became my own. And so I was always just like picking myself apart about little things like your fucking hands. Like, come on now. Like, and one of the ways that I have found to combat negative self-talk is to just not let it come out of my mouth, baby. So when I'm talking negative about myself, I have to say something good right after. Oh yeah, but you're a badass bitch here, or you're, like I cannot spend a lot of time being critical over myself because it's so easy for me to just go down a slippery slope. Okay, so let's just say I'm like, oh, but I'm not smart enough for this. No, you are smart enough. You just have to put in the work to know this and this and that. Like it has to come right after. I cannot sit in it at all because baby, it goes from maybe this one comment to a week of just feeling like the weakest bitch in the world. Like sometimes we don't realize that we can be our biggest hater. and the voices that we think are coming from other people, or maybe initially were coming from somebody else, has turned into your own. And like, it's crazy because you think you're fighting something outside of yourself, but you're not. There was a movie that I really liked when I was a kid. It's called Secret Window with Johnny Depp. And in the movie, he is an author and he writes a book that's like best-selling or whatever. And there's a guy that keeps showing up to his house saying, "You plagiarized my work." And Johnny Depp is like, "What the fuck? Like, dude, no, I did not." The guy keeps showing up and the guy starts getting violent, starts killing people, killed his dog, like just losing his shit. By the end of the movie, you find out that the person was Johnny Depp the entire time. So it's crazy how like you're going out and you're fighting against these haters or whatever. And sometimes, you know, we got them. Don't get me wrong. I got them. We got them. But when we're fighting these people and we're fighting against said haters, sometimes we just run into ourselves. You know, I always say this, and this is not a flex by any means, but like, when people say something mean to me, I'm like, that doesn't mean anything to me because I've said worse. I've heard worse from people who were supposed to love me. I've heard worse from people who, you know, did the thing to have me. So like, you can't say anything that I haven't heard, you know, or anything worse than I've already heard. That's kind of sad. Yes. However, my voice is going to be nice to me though. I can't control anyone else's, but I can control my own. And whatever anyone decides to say about me, to me, or whatever, it's up to me to either internalize it or dust it off my shoulders. Okay, I'm an old ass nigga. Gotta get that dirt off your shoulder. You gotta get that dirt off your shoulders. You know, so you gotta get the dirt off your shoulders sometimes. You know, you want to throw some shade? Excuse-moi, bitch. The fuck? Like, and sometimes, like, I've seen people who are, like, maybe, like, battling against somebody, and, like, someone accused me of saying bad things about him, right? I didn't say bad things about him. I just said the truth. And it wasn't bad. I mean, the truth is bad, so what the fuck do you want me to say? But he was saying things that I didn't even say. I was like, no, I actually said bink. I did not say dink. They actually called you the broke ass nigga. I didn't call you the broke ass nigga. I just called you a fucking liar. But he was just like so hyped to get to the core of who said what, who did said what, and I'm like, okay, bro. I don't even know what point I was trying to make, but like, what point was I trying to make? Maybe I just wanted to fucking say that. But like I said, create a positive inner voice. Be patient with yourself. Be like, oh girl, you fucked up here. Oh shit, here we go again. That's all good. Next. You know, I say this all the time. Treat yourself like you're 8 years old. Because sometimes 8-year-old you is making that decision. Let's be fucking real. 8-year-old you is buying that $40 plate knowing you only have $39.99 in the bank account. 8-year-old you is making those decisions. So sometimes you got to treat yourself like the 8-year-old you. You got to be like, girl, You know, you gotta save your money. You know, you gotta, like, I think another reason why it is hard for us to fail out loud. I forgot about this note. This is kind of a gem. Every time you see somebody doing something, you're judging them. Every motherfucker time, oh, this is not good enough. Like, her makeup didn't even look that nice on this makeup tutorial. This podcast is not even that good. Like, she doesn't have this in the nah. So then when you trying some shit, you're thinking people are doing that same thing to you. So you so scared. No, baby. Which is why I don't really be judging people's art like that. Like, you thought that was a good song, baby? All right, that was a good song. I don't be like, no, the bar wasn't that bar. He didn't really spit the bar of the bars. That was a 4 and not a 3. One, I'm not a fucking rapper, bitch. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, the bar and the bar, the beat, the bar didn't sync with the bar. And two, this is someone's art that you're just trying to pick apart. Like, it just bothers me. Like, you took so much time on something and people could just be like, or feel like they could just discard it. Maybe something's not for me. Maybe a podcast is not for me. But when I catch myself being super critical, I'm like, ooh, girl, you're going to start hearing that when you're recording your podcast. You're going to start hearing people be like, trash, like you were saying trash. Stop judging people. Especially if they're doing something positive. If it's DJ Academics, I get it, okay? Like, trash. Literal trash. Like, I hate to call God's children trash, but Jesus Christ, God, you rush with that motherfucker. My point is, I'm not going to be overcritical on someone else's art because I don't want people to do that to me. But moving on, what makes it easier? Okay, what has made it easier for me to fail so loudly and many, many times? This is episode 128. I have a purpose, and I'm reminded of my purpose very often, fortunately and unfortunately. Unfortunately, because I feel like somewhat of a responsibility to just show people that it's okay to be yourself. And you could be as cringe as you fucking want to be and just spread your legs, show your pussy. You know what I mean? Just live, jump high, smile, laugh hard. You know, and I just want to show that it is okay. And I think a lot of us, kind of shy away from being expressive because we're worried about being judged. And I just want to show people that fuck it, it's okay. Let them judge you, let them say whatever they want. Like, it's just so important for us to live our lives. It's like AG on TikTok said this. He was like, the human's biggest flex is being alive. And some of us don't feel alive. Some of us feel like fucking zombies, and we're just like being turned on and turned off. And I just want us to like live more, especially as Black people. I want us to be okay with smiling and laughing hard and expressing ourselves whatever way, like I think sometimes Black people feel like we have to be a certain type of Black person to be accepted in this way. It's like, dude, no. Like, your people will come. Your people are actually out there. They're just waiting for you to be yourself. I have a deep purpose to spread that message. And so, like, that's why I'm like, okay, like, no likes or no views or no whatever. Like, I I'm doing this for a reason, so I have to keep going. And it's not the reason for like likes. And sometimes I get caught up in it. Don't get me wrong. But like, that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to gain attention in that way. And sometimes I get caught in that as well, because, you know, your girl loves attention. But my real passion, like I said, is to show people that you can live your life and you can be yourself and you can laugh hard and you can enjoy this life. You know, you don't need a bunch of money. You don't need none of that. You know, you just need people who fucking love you. You need, love for yourself, love for your community, love for your people. And that's it. If I could share a little story with you guys, like, do you mind? Like, this episode's really, really long. Give me a second. Okay, so when I was 9, my grandma passed away, right? She was murdered by her boyfriend. My grandma and I did not have a close relationship. She lived in Denver. I am born and raised here in Arizona. She would come out sometimes to visit us. We would go to Denver sometimes to visit her. Years later, I'm 23. I'm laying in bed and I'm feeling really depressed. You know, depression hit me when I was 21 and it took me on a ride. So I was sitting there and I was just upset. I'm like, dude, I'm so tired of being insecure. I'm so tired of not loving myself. I'm so tired of feeling ugly. Like, I had just very early, I had made just this agreement with myself that, you know, I'm not pretty. You know, that's just what it is. I remember telling my dad that and he was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, you're not pretty? And I'm like, no, dude, like, I'm just not. And that's just something that I just know. So it's all good. Like, I'm not. So when I got to a certain age, like, I was just tired of feeling that way still. And I felt the spirit of my grandmother just like pop up. And I'm like, hey, girl, what are you fucking doing here? Like, what's going on? You've never like shown up so strong in this way. I'm 23. You passed away when I was 9 years old. So she was like a fairy godmother, like, what is it? Impossible. Like, it was like, okay, hey. My grandma was someone who was very, very, very hard-headed. Like, she did what the fuck she wanted to do. That's how people described her. She was very flamboyant, very loud, I remember her laugh was just very loud, very just like mine, obnoxious. She smiled hard. She loved the girls, you know, her friends were the gay dudes. Like, my grandma was just that girl in that way. And she just did what the fuck she wanted to do, including get with my grandpa, who my big mama did not approve of, because my grandpa was like, he was like a slum. Like, he was, like Lady and the Tramp type deal, you know? So, but like I said, my grandma did what the fuck she wanted to do. So the day she visited me, she got me all the way the fuck together, and she didn't leave me for another 3 years. I felt her energy close as fuck for like 3 years after that. And like, every time I made a decision and I was going to make it out of insecurity or feeling small, like, I would feel her nudge me like, bitch, look, you're doing it. You know, when somebody would ask me, hey, you want to be in this music video? You're doing it. Hey, you want to do this photo? You're doing it. You're starting this podcast. Like, it didn't matter. Like, I started this podcast, like, almost like a gun to my head. Like, it's crazy. But like, I started it in my car and I'm like crying because I was so stressed out. It was 2020. I didn't know what was going to happen. My sister now lives with me. I'm like, am I going to lose my job? Like, what's going on? So I'm crying and I just started my podcast. I literally got the app, signed up, and got approved about a year or two before I actually started, like had a episode number 1. And I recorded it in my car, and I'm just like, I'm so stressed out. What is going on in this world? Like, but she made me do it. She was like, I'm going to teach you how to just do it before you're ready, and it not matter what anybody says, what anybody thinks. Like, you're not going to continue to live life out of insecurity and feeling small. So I'm like, okay, all right, girl. Like, I guess that's what we got to do. And we've been doing that ever since. I built this alter ego. Her name is Jade, and she's like my grandma. She's like, all right, well, nope, we're not gonna, like, just because this episode wasn't good, we're not gonna stop. Like, we're not gonna quit. We're not gonna give up on the things that you want. We got to keep going. Like, I'm fucking relentless. I'm like a psychopath. Like, at this point, like, when I want something, I go, like, period. Like, a person, a career, like, I'm going, and I'm going full out. And yeah, she like fucking, my grandmother saved me. And so I've been wanting to like spread her philosophy of just being crazy and just doing whatever the fuck I want to do. You know, like, my brother and I were also talking about how we just like, when we don't like someone, we're just like not going to talk. We're not going to say anything. And he was talking about how someone has been having issues with him because he's not talkative. And my brother was like, bro, I don't like you. Like, he didn't say that to the dude, but he was telling me this. He was like, dude, I don't like him. So like, I don't say anything. And that's how I am. I'm just quiet. Like, people are like, oh, she has a podcast. She talks. Like, I never knew you talked. Like, you're really quiet when I'm around. Guess why? I don't like you. So I just don't say anything. I'm just, just chilling. Because if you want me to really say what I think, your feelings is going to get hurt. So I just stay quiet. How did I get into this? How did I get there? How did I get here? Oh my God. I don't know how the fuck I got there. Oh, that's what I was saying. Okay. We're here doing whatever the fuck you want to do. Like, if I don't want to talk, I am not going to talk. If I don't want to be around you, I'm not going to be around you. I'm cool. I'm fucking cool. There are things that I'm forced to do because I'm an adult. I have to show up to work. I have to make money in some kind of way. And sometimes that includes things that I do not like to do. So because I have to do a lot of things I don't fucking want to do, if I get to choose, I'm choosing. And it's just like another thing. It's like for my grandmother to be how she is, and for my grandfather to be how he is, and for my parents to be who they are, and my siblings also. It's like, how did this insecure girl come about? How did this girl come about? Like, I remember like my parents being like, what do you mean you did not stick up for yourself? What do you mean you let this person hit you and you just stood there? Like, what are we talking about? Like, I think I shared this story with you guys, but I'm going to do it again. In the second or third grade, my best friend and I were at lunch, and she's like, hey, let's tell each other everything we've ever said behind each other's back. And I'm so confused because I worship that girl. So I was like, I never said anything about you. And she went first, and she was like, yeah, sometimes when I'm mad at you, my brother walks in the room and he's like, she's just a nigger, isn't she? And I say, yeah. The way I looked at her, I was like, and she goes, okay, so your turn. And I was like, I don't even say anything bad about you. I remember going home and telling my mom about it. And my mom was like, oh, well, I did. Tell that moonhead bitch that. I was like, oh my God, she's 8. We're 8. Tell that moonhead cricket tooth, bitch. I was like, oh my, we're toddlers. But yeah, like my family was always just like so like confused how I was like insecure, and I mean, you shouldn't be that confused, but they were just like, how don't you think you're just so hot and so sexy and so everything? Because like my family's just like that. They're very, very like, oh, I'm fine, I'm this, I'm that. My dad had a stroke and lost sight in one of his eyes, so like one eye was like leaning. He was the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater. He was just, and he had to wear a patch over it. And so I pick him up one day and I'm like, Dad, like, where's your patch at? And he was like, I left it in the back of some girl's car. And I'm like, what were you doing in the back? You know what? Actually, I do not want to ask you what you were doing in the back of her car. And he was like, yeah, don't ask. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? Like, you got one eye, half a nose, and a homeboy talking about some fucking. I'm like, okay, but that's just what my family is. They just think they're fine regardless. So like I said, they were just so surprised. They're like, okay, what happened to this girl? But my grandma came, she said, okay, this is going too far. And she whipped me up. She whipped me together. You know, and I just want to just share, like I said, everything she has taught me so far. And also, I want to show her that I can be, you know, like, I got it together, Grandma. Sometimes I'm broke down, but I be getting it together. I'll be whipping it together, baby. So to end this episode, we're going to talk about why it is important to fail. Okay? It is important to fail because these are the reps, baby. These are also times that you are going to learn about yourself. You know, my brother and I were also talking about how people who piss us off teach us a lot about ourselves. And he was like, I don't want to be around everything that just like I agree with and things like that. And I was like, that is interesting. That is really interesting because I feel like I've grown a lot from being at my job, my current job, even though like I get irritated at certain things. I'm like, okay, like I get triggered off of this. I get really annoyed from this. This makes me uncomfortable. This annoys me, you know? So, failing and things not working out the way you want them to, it teaches you about whatever you are doing. You know, today I learned that, you know, I want to chuck that fucking camera all the way to the fucking moon, you know, because it was blurry. It's been fucked up for a couple episodes, but like, that's what I learned today. You know, and you learn about like your patience, your tolerance level. It's insane in the membrane. And also like, it is very necessary. You need that person that you once were to support you and who you are. You know, like sometimes I see, so funny, the clip of Beyonce doing interviews at the VMAs. I think it was the VMAs. Like she interviewed Aaliyah, she interviewed Pink, and she's like, oh, are you going to have a good night? It's like Beyonce was interviewing people, asking people if they're going to have a good night. So if one moment we think that we're too good for something, you think about that. The Beyonce Giselle Knowles Carter was interviewing people outside of a music video, outside of a award show. I'm sure that person that was hungry and just wanted to do some shit introduced her to this person, to introduce her to that, to do this, to do that. It's all just for your benefit. As long as you're walking in alignment and what you're supposed to do, that little gig, that thing that you call small, is what's going to support you to get closer and closer to where you actually want to be. That's why every time I'm at a music video, I'm like, okay, like I'm at a Drake music video. Like I don't care what kind of rapper or what kind of musician is. I'm making sure I'm showing up on my A game. on time. Nothing's small to me. Nothing is small. As long as I'm in it, bitch, nothing's motherfucking small. Oh, yeah, that little music video that you did. Oh, yeah, that little podcast that you have. Oh, that little bitch. Fuck you. Ain't nothing little when it comes to me. Big nose, big lips, fat ass, ain't nothing little. We're going to wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for just showing up every black ass week. I appreciate you so much. Don't forget to tell everybody that I'm beautiful, smart, kind, sexy. Like, subscribe. This is As Your Big Sister. I'm Asia, my queen. Bye-bye.